Radio.
Victory pose! We're live, everybody. We're live. Slow clap. Slow clap. Hello. Hello and welcome to the very first fantastic episode of Fangirl Fusion podcast. I am your extremely excited host, Cleo. A lot of you in the chat probably know me from my YouTube channel, Games Are for Fight. If you don't, that's okay. I love you anyway. And not as much, but you know, whatever. Just kidding. And I have two amazing co-hosts with me. And I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead. Okay, let's see. First episode, everybody. Welcome to Fangirl Fusion, a podcast by ladies, for ladies, as well as anyone interested in video games, tabletop games, cosplay, comics, and more. AKA, if you're a nerd, you're home. So, yes, this is a brand new podcast, as I said 20 times already. My name is Cleo. I am a dedicated gamer. I play everything except for sports, because I'd rather play them in real life. I'm also severely, that's a weird word to use in that case. I'm extremely interested in comics and manga and anime and cosplay and D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, for those who aren't cool enough to know what D&D is. Yeah, that's right. We're the cool kids now, / Felicia Day. And then, tag, Becca, you're it.
Hey, I'm Becca. I'm from Florida. I've been playing games since I was probably a little kid. I've played console games, but I mostly play PC games now. And I play FPS, RTS, RPG, MMOs, adventure games, pretty much everything. And I've had a lot of experience creating and leading like a lot of online multi-gaming organizations. And I've played competitively in esports leagues, and I've run my own game servers, and I've organized online tournaments and stuff like that, so I'm super excited to be here.
And if anyone is wondering, yes, I'm extremely threatened by her presence. I totally expect her to take over everything. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm super pumped to be here. I've had a lot of experience playing with females. I've played in female... I've run my own female gaming servers. I've played on female-only teams, in a female-only league, and I'm super pumped to be here. So
she doesn't hate guys, though.
No, tag Kat.
Hello everyone, my name is Kat, also known as Acitra on the YouTubes and the Twitches and pretty much everywhere on the internet. That's me, ASYTeri. And I'm from Indiana. It is really cold and it kind of sucks here, but good thing for me, gaming is all indoors, so got that covered. As far as, I've been gaming since I was really little, like Becca, and also like Becca, I am a member of the glorious PC Gaming Master Race, so now I've
pump that chest out.
Owned plenty of consoles over the years, and I'm thrilled to be here. I've been wanting to do something like this for a very long time, and things just kind of came together. Obviously, Cleo for organizing that. That's such a huge thing. And
I just had the idea. Becca did all the organizing.
Whoa, team effort.
I did post to Reddit though, so.
Yeah, so we actually just met like a week ago when Cleo posted to the Reddit Girl Gamers subreddit. And we all met about a week ago and decided this would be really fun. And I would also like to add that we have our friend M, follow here there in the live stream chat. She's modding it for us, and I just wanted to thank her for being here, because she's been here with us.
And thanks to everybody in the chat, and everybody who is listening to this but not in the chat. If you would like to join us in the chat, I don't know how you'd be listening to this otherwise, but it's http://indie showcase INDYSHOWCASE.org/radio. And I said that in like the most convoluted way possible. Sorry, no. I'm really excited.
Backwards.
Yes, OIDAR/G. I'm just looking at the.
I think I got it.
Okay. Come say hi.
Do you guys want to start with like the icebreaker question?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
So we decided that at the beginning of this podcast, and probably at the beginning of most podcasts, we would ask you guys, the listeners, to come up with an obscure and silly question for us to answer so you can get to know us better and kind of get the juices flowing. So the question, the juices. So the question of this week was, the question was, if you could create a new species by splicing together two animals, what would you create? So Cleo, do you want to go first?
Sure. I'm assuming they don't have to be real animals, in which case I thought really hard on this, in which I mean I thought about it just now, and my answer is I would splice a Pikachu with a dolphin, and it would be an electric dolphin that was super friendly and I could ride, and also it was really cute, and that's my answer.
That's awesome.
I don't know what it would look like, but
like
it would be
a water Pikachu. That would be funny.
It would be a yellow dolphin.
Kat, what about you?
I would see. I'm gonna keep it real here because I'm all about the immersions. So I'm gonna go with two real life animals.
Okay.
You know, because that's how I roll. It's all about the immersion.
Oh yeah.
I would cross a sloth with a cheetah. So you could have the world's fastest and the world's slowest animal all in one.
I think you would cause an explosion.
He'd be like the chillest. He'd be like the chillest cheetah ever.
Exactly.
And he would look like he was high all the time. Oh my god. So
this bud.
So I was thinking of a couple. I was like, okay, is this like a practical animal or is this like an adorable best case scenario animal?
This was an animal if Spore had. This is an animal if Spore had actually lived up to the hype.
So exactly, right? So that I have two. Sorry if I'm like an overachiever here, but I have two. I have the adorable teacup Pomeranian mixed with a sloth. That's so funny for that guy. Because teacup Pomeranians are super cute and fluffy, but they need to chill the F out. So I was saying mix it with a sloth and it would be perfect.
But what if they get like the creepy long arms with the claws?
Yeah. I mean, you know, you're gonna get what you're gonna
hanging
get
from your chandelier.
Yeah. But my practical animal, I was gonna say let's say horses with wings have been crossed, right? Pegasus. There's like lions with wings, griffins. I was like, what about a wolf with wings? And it would be big enough to ride and like fly around, obviously.
Probably exists on DeviantArt.
But he'd be like fluffy and like lovable, like a companion. So then I was thinking, sorry, this is really long. Then I was thinking, if he's a wolf, I'm like afraid he's gonna like eat my jugular on a any time now. So I was like, what if I like crossed him with an eagle with like an Alaskan Malamute, like a sled dog? And then I was like, would he pull me around on like a sled, like a sleigh? And then I realized I want a flying dog to pull me around on a sleigh, and I'm basically Santa now.
That's the coolest Santa ever. I'd
want your presents.
I guess I want to be Santa, so I like cookies.
Better get eating those cakes there, Becca.
Oh my God.
Talk about a gender change. So someone in the chat or someone in the chat is wondering, can you use mythical creatures? Well, I used a Pikachu, so
yeah.
The problem with mythical creatures is they're kind of already spliced.
I'm gonna cross a lion with a tiger. So you get a liger. And they're red for their skills and magic.
That's a real animal, though.
I know it's real. How awesome is that?
Oh man.
But they can't breathe. That's what's so sad. So they're like the last unicorn, the last liger. All right. So is that good?
Yeah.
Good. I think we've created a.
But now you guys.
No cry.
Yes. So you guys see a little taste of what we mean by obscure question, and if you have a question you would like us to tackle with our incredible brain power next week or in a week to come, go to the forum, which is, we should have said the URL a long time ago if you somehow don't know what it is. It's fangirlfusion.yuku.com. So fangirl fusion .yuku.com. And we've already got a lot of threads going there.
Posted in chat, so lazy can just click on it. So
yeah.
And anyways, let's go ahead and move on and just like kind of quickly talk about what this podcast is going to be about and our goals. And we are going to we're starting a journey to become the #1 gaming podcast by women for women, and we want you to join us through this experience.
Yeah, and while this is like a female-centered podcast, you know, the majority of our discussions will focus on gaming and the things that we're passionate about rather than solely about female-specific topics. So it doesn't matter if you're a guy or if you're a girl listening, we're here to celebrate the things that we love, and that includes everyone.
And with your help and interaction, we'll discuss not only gaming, but also geek, nerd, internet culture, and media, and real-life stuff that, like, you know, we go through as geeks.
Yeah. And we want to make this a really interactive podcast with you, the listener. So we want you to, we want you to come chat with us during the live show. We want you to come on our forums and participate in community discussions, including, you know, the topics that we cover each week. And on top of that, you know, we want to invite knowledgeable guests from kind of all areas of gaming to share their experiences on a whole bunch of topics. You know, so you're not just hearing us the whole time. And after every show, we will be hosting like a weekly game night. So, you know, you can listen to us live, and then you can join us for like a community meetup so we can, you know, meet everybody and just play some games together.
And also, we want to represent you. So share your input on the community forums and help us grow a safe haven for women who play games. Forge a way that you can connect with each other to play, and create a place where you can voice your opinions and experience a supportive community while living the things you love.
Yeah.
Doing the things you love.
Oh, yeah. And,
and loving the things you do.
And you guys are really the foundation of this community. So, you know, share this podcast with your friends and within the communities that you're part of so we can all, you know, build this thing together.
But only if they're nice. We don't want jerks.
Yeah, invite your friendly friends.
Your friendly friends, not the ones that, you know, say mean things to you. And by the way, if I can jump into this lovely little valedictorian introduction, our entire purpose behind this podcast, as our lovely ladies have already touched on, is we do really want it to be as collaborative as possible. And, you know, there's a lot that goes into making a podcast, a lot more than I even realized, which I am so extremely grateful that so many people have been interested in helping me out, because there's no way I could have done this by myself. And if you want to help, either, you know, helping with images or making music, we need starter music for one thing, and a bunch of other stuff. I've posted about it on the forum, and I'll probably post again. But yeah, just be a part of the forum, or if you don't want to post to the forum, you want to keep your talent secret, you can go ahead and email us at fangirlfusion@gmail.com and basically tell us, you know, I'm a music maker, or I'm a whatever. And even if you don't have any, you know, particular talents, if you just want to help out, you know, somebody, sorry, I'm saying, maybe you just want to help us organize how each episode is going to go, whatever you can do to help, whatever you want to do to help, just let us know, and we would love to incorporate it. We really want to make it as collaborative as possible, as I said. And I'm making crazy hand gestures at the microphone, so you can pretend that you can see those. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, shout out.
I'm going to give a quick shout out to some of my peeps in chat, namely Ryan, Dory, V, a bunch of people from the forums. I can't really name them all, but if you're here, you're awesome, and thank you very much.
Yeah.
If you're not, then you should be listening to this live. I don't know what your problem is, but you better be here next week.
Yes.
I also see Stefka and Phoenix and Kitty from our forum, so welcome you guys. And I'd like to give a shout out to Tone, my boyfriend. Hey, what's up?
Aw. It's so sweet. Yeah, we got a couple of people in there that are listed as guests. You know, don't be afraid to sign up with your Twitter or whatever so that we can see you, and that, you know, if we want to keep contact with you, we have some information. But yeah, hi to everybody. We have a lot of people in chat. I'm really amazed. Who have we not called out to? Oh, MSP Investing. That's my mom. Hi, Mom.
Okay, so do you want to move into like our first topic that we want to cover?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So we decided that for our first topic, we would want to cover the question that all of us have different opinions on and all of us define differently. And that is, what is a gamer? And how do you define yourself? Do you define yourself as a gamer, and why?
I started last time. You guys start.
All right. So, Kat, do you want to start?
Sure, absolutely. So this is a question that we actually pulled from the community, and it's something that some people already provided feedback on, and it was great to kind of have that because it kind of helped me formulate my own answer. And it's kind of one of those answers. For me, it's like I'm torn between two sides. The logical side of me says, well, obviously, anybody who plays a game is a gamer. And that goes from somebody who plays Call of Duty 24/7 to somebody who plays Farmville casually. Technically, they're all games, so they all kind of count.
As opposed to playing Farmville constantly, like some people.
Yeah, I mean, anything like that. But like turning off my logical side, I'm like, well, what are games really? And it's like, you get into this kind of strange discussion.
What
like
are
a
games?
Exactly, a lot of games are, stuff like Farmville is like a money extractor. But
how about this?
They're games.
Yeah, or how about this? Really interesting ones. Like, have you ever heard of Facade, which is basically you just talk to the characters and the characters interact with you, or there's augmented reality where you participate with a website and you post to the website or something like that. Could you consider that a game?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's the thing. I mean, you can't really define it looking in. So if you're on the outside looking in, you can't really define somebody else's gaming experience, because whatever they're playing, as long as it's a game, and that's pretty much just about anything under the sun, even board games, checkers, whatever, they might consider themselves a gamer. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really my answer, is that it really has to be self-defined. I don't think that it's something that you can define for somebody else.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Becca.
Oh, cool. I think for me, the term gamer has changed a lot for me over the years. I think, since, like I said, I've been playing games since I was little. And so when I first heard that term, I was probably 12, and I was playing Diablo 2. And I heard that term and I was like, I don't really know anybody that uses that term. I don't know what that term even means. And so when I first heard it, I identified it as somebody who must play games all the time, know every game, lots of different genres, and know every intricate detail about every game. Because I was like, oh, I must not be a gamer. I only play 80 billion games. No big deal.
I'm sure 4chan would say you're not a gamer. So
it's fine, whatever.
Beat is not a
screw
praise.
them. I'm a gamer. And, later when I started, kind of getting more into the online world and talking to friends who, defined them and me as a gamer, I was kind of like, oh, I'm obviously a gamer because I play games a lot and I played tons of different games and whatever. And then when I got older and went to college, there's been periods of time where, I didn't really have a lot of time to get into a game. And, there were a couple months where maybe I didn't even pick up a game. And I was kind of like, does that mean I'm still a gamer? Games have been a huge part of my life, and I identify with, that's I couldn't live without it. And, does that make me not a gamer anymore? What?
I love how you have an existential crisis about
it.
It's in your blood, yo. You're OG.
Exactly. And so, of course, it's different now. Of course, I play games again now. It's just, there were study times, but I just, it really doesn't matter to me how often you play, how many games you play. If it means, if it's part of your life, and someone said on the forums, if you couldn't see your life without it, then you're a gamer if you want to be,
Yeah, and it's funny, you talk about hearing the term gamer. I don't think I actually really self-identified as a gamer until the 2000s, before that, and I've been gaming for a decade before that. So it's maybe it's the internet thing, that's kind of when people started really getting into the internet and online communities. Mm-hmm. And it's I just never really thought of that term. It's I played lots of games. What's a gamer?
Exactly. And that's why when I heard that term, obviously I've been playing games, for, I don't know, several years before them, and all sorts of games. I just didn't, know what that term meant to other people, and I thought you had to be, next level, OMG gamer. You owned every game, and you knew everything.
That's a good segue into my story, actually.
Yeah.
If that's cool. So, yeah, I have similarities with both of you, as far as, when did I start thinking of myself as a gamer. to the point, I still kind of feel strange being like, I'm a gamer, even though I'm definitely a gamer. I play everything. I'm obsessed with games. Like, I don't know how to relate to people that don't play games, literally. I'll go on a dating site and I'll be like, do you like games? What are games? Oh, okay, done with you. But I think it was about, in the 2000s, pretty much when I started my YouTube channel, my first YouTube channel, which I will not post the link to because it has a bunch of just really terrible videos on it. And I was doing some videos here and there, which were game reviews, and that was right about the very beginning of the whole fake nerd girl epidemic, or whatever you want to call it. And I found myself having to say, no, I really play games because blah, blah, blah. And then that was about the time where I started reading the term gamer, and it was like, I guess a gamer is someone who's so passionate about the fact that they like games that they feel compelled to defend themselves when someone says that you don't really play games. And I remember a long time ago, I made the mistake of trying to participate in 4chan, and I got in this stupid debacle on V where this guy said something that stuck with me until this day. He said, you're not a real gamer unless you play roguelikes, which I still happen to play, but if you don't know what roguelikes are, they're those games that you can't save your character and it's randomly generated, and now they're popular, actually. Now there's a lot of roguelikes out there. Actually, the Humble Bundle that's going on right now is roguelikes. I need to buy it. I totally forgot and just remembered just now. Accidental plug.
Fortress, no care.
Yeah, I love Humble Bundle. They're great. But anyway, and when this guy said this thing, first of all, I had to Google what the heck a roguelike was, and I was like, oh, okay. So really the question of what makes you a gamer is, why would you decide if someone's not a gamer? What difference does it make if you're, a gamer or not? Even if somebody's not on your quote-unquote level, it doesn't mean that they're less of a person. You might not have as much in common with them, but that doesn't, I don't know. And it's just kind of it's a sort of a version, or I've seen this theory tossed around a bit, but it's sort of a theory about how gamers are not generally socially accepted in a lot of places, so when they start forming their own communities, they get a chance to be the bully, and they get to be like, oh, you're not a real gamer, you don't belong here. And unfortunately, that's something that girls face a lot to segue.
For sure.
I would love to do a shout out to somebody on the forums, DJ10, who said something so eloquent on this topic. Yeah. And she said, to me, being a gamer is all about heart and soul. You were born and you naturally gravitate to the gaming world. The gameplay, stories, art, the whole world of gaming intrigues you. You don't let it rule your life, but your life wouldn't be the same without it. And that's poetry
truth.
almost.
Beautifully put. Beautifully put. And I think all three of us would probably agree that that's what it's about, for sure. Have you guys ever...
Oh,
go ahead.
I was saying we got some questions cropping up in the chat apparently, but what did you want to say?
We can answer questions, sure.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
so let's see. One of them is, would you classify dating sims as a game? Well, absolutely. I mean, like I said, if augmented reality, where you go to a website and you post on that, if that's a game, then absolutely dating sims are games. I don't think there's anything really out there that's not a game. Even a slot machine is technically a game.
Exactly. And we all know being technically correct is the best kind of correct.
Exactly.
That's true. Yeah, I think there's a few factors that, I mean, they've been something that I've questioned throughout, my gaming experience once I actually heard the term gamer, and that was, before we got to this eloquently stated thing that DJ 10 said, was, does it matter how much time you commit to playing games? If you're a part-time person or you play every day, the number of games and genres that you play, if you only play, MMOs, and you play, like, EverQuest all the time, and that's the only game you play because it's, so immersive and interactive and there's so much to do, you don't have time to get to other games, does that make you a gamer? The number of games you play.
It makes you the best gamer.
It gives you EP.
Yeah, does the type of game matter?
I'm sure a lot of
people
play
Tetris. Yeah, if you play Tetris or Animal Crossing or Farmville, are you still a gamer? same thing with dating sims. Does that matter? And another one is, your level of knowledge of the game. Does that matter in the definition of are you a gamer?
Yeah.
Do you just run around in a Counter-Strike pub and hide in corners? Or do you play competitively? What makes you a gamer? Do those things matter to you guys?
Can I jump in there with something that reminded me of? So, as I mentioned before, I have my YouTube channel where I do Let's Plays, and there's a lot of other channels on YouTube that do the same thing that I do that have way more views, and, that's fine. Everybody has their own style. And there's one particular channel that I admit I used to be kind of harsh to, which I feel bad because I realized I was being kind of an elitist jerk. And that channel is Justine Gaming, which, I don't know. She seems like she does play a lot of games, but the thing is when she plays them, for instance, her most famous derp up, if you want to call it that, was she was playing Portal 2, and she was just taking a really long time to solve all the puzzles, and the comments, people were just tearing into her, and she's too stupid, she's just faking it for the views, I hate these blonde girls who just stick their tatas out and get all this money, and I can't believe I just said tata, but anyway, and I, unfortunately, at that time, I was like, yeah, you guys are right, she's so fake, whatever, and now I'm kind of ashamed of myself for being like that, because I've actually met her, and she's a lovely person, and even if she wasn't, that has nothing to do with, is she a real gamer? She's playing a game, she's a gamer. She might not be as hardcore, but...
And Cleo, you know this, but when you make live content, when you make recorded content, if you are focused on providing commentary and being personable and interesting, that makes your actual skill go down so much as far as your actual gaming level of skill.
Absolutely. Yeah, actually, that just reminds me. Whenever I would play like Counter-Strike on a team, the person who was the shot caller sometimes, wasn't the top fragger in that, in that game, and it's because they're focusing on every other aspect of everything that's going on, and they let the other teammates, go in and kind of get the first kills and focus on just shooting and being where they need to be. And you're right, Asitra. Like, people, when they're focusing on commentary and they're focusing on, interacting with people, if it's a Twitch stream, it is really hard to just focus and be the best you can at that thing. So that's a question, though. I mean, does your level of knowledge or your proficiency in the game determine whether or not you're a gamer?
It's funny that we throw all these criteria in there because we're trying to be so specific about who we allow to have the hollow title of gamer, which, of course, as most people are aware, up until like a year ago, it was a bad thing if people thought you were a gamer. Unless it was your very close gamer friends. If someone called you a gamer, it was kind of insinuating that, you have no friends and you spend all your time in your mom's basement and you're covered in Cheetos.
Wait a second. Are you trying to say you don't live in a basement?
I do. Like the South Park episode. I almost said the StarCraft episode.
I live in a van down by the river.
Oh no, there's definitely, I personally know quite a few gamers who absolutely fit the stereotype, and unfortunately, as with all stereotypes, that's what people look at and they say, see, this guy looks like that, therefore all gamers are like that.
Well, see, when people say you're a gamer, you must not have friends. I've met some of my greatest friends, online, and people I've met in real life from gaming. I've met my boyfriend of 2 years on gaming, so, I've met tons of people through gaming, so I don't think that makes you, like, some weird basement sloth.
I think the connections I've made in games are probably way more stronger and better than any I have in real life, like, aside from family.
Exactly, because you have something to do and relate over. I'm not talking about me. I'm saying that's what the standard assumptions were up until a couple years ago. And it's very nice that we are alive in an era to see it change. I mean, there's that video that came out quite a while ago by the guild actors that's, we're the cool kids now. I forget how it goes, but basically it talks about this very thing about how before they were nerds and now they're, basically celebrities. Big Bang, etc., like that. So, and then of course it's funny because Big Bang, I have half of my friends love that show, and half of my friends are like, ew, they're not real gamers. They're not real gamers. Like, oh my god, listen to yourself.
Yeah, I've heard people say if you're a real nerd, you don't watch, or a real geek, you don't watch Big Bang Theory. So
because nothing goes together better than gamer and hipster.
Oh god. Do you guys want to talk about the term hardcore gamer?
I want to talk about this thing that keeps coming up in chat, just really briefly, because this is something that I'm definitely going to save for an entire episode sometime in the future, so look forward to that. But people are wondering, okay, so Matt Wiabel is saying, if you don't want to be stereotyped online, don't face cam and don't use a voice changer. And use a voice changer. Sorry. So we should hide our gender and basically, wear a burqa, is what you're saying.
I was about to say, it's like, should we put burqas on? I mean, okay, so I have to pose to Matt. If you are worried about getting into a car accident, are you just never going to drive? Are you never going to go anywhere? Are you going to stay in your house all the time? I mean, come on, let's be honest.
Yeah. I think that's a whole topic for a whole nother day.
I think so.
So basically, I guess we should ask how quickly are you guys eager for a full-length episode about that? Because we could seriously go on. We have, all of us, as a female and as someone who plays a lot of games, I think every one of us has a lot to say on that topic. And I'm just going to stop talking about that now.
I think...
Go ahead, Kat. No, go ahead.
I was going to say this is certainly a great segue into our next topic, and that's pretty much, when do you come out as a female gamer, as a gamer in a female in a game, Yeah,
and do you come out at all if you're a chick and you play games? It's a hard world out there.
Yeah, I tried from the beginning. I wasn't really like, oh my god, I'm a girl. I don't think I was ever like that. I admit that I don't have as big of a problem as far as... See, I'm afraid to even say this because it's like opening a whole can of worms, but I'm not afraid of trying to use that necessarily to help my YouTube channel, but at the same time, I have a limit. I don't wear very revealing outfits and spend the whole time just shaking in front of the camera. And it's fine if other people do, but my worry is that I want people to realize that I really am in love with games, and I'm afraid if I do that, they'll just immediately discount me. As far as like voice chat and stuff like that goes, I usually just don't care. I mean, when I play Halo, and I haven't played in a long time, but when I play Halo, I really like to play the objective modes. I really like, oddball and capture the flag and stuff like that, and I like to be on the mic, and when possible, I like to be organizing the strategy. Unfortunately, that very rarely happens. Either people completely ignore me, or, you get the usual, oh my god, are you a girl? You must be fat and a lesbian, etc., etc., etc. So...
Yeah, I think it depends. I think it depends on the game for me. If it's crucial for me to use my voice at all, and if it's a game like, I keep saying Counter-Strike. If it's a game like Counter-Strike, I feel like you're missing out on the game if you can't communicate via voice. Especially if you're playing in a competitive pug. Or scrim. You have to communicate.
I don't know what either of those are.
Sorry, it's a pickup game or a scrimmage. That's kind of like a match. But if it's a game where
game, sorry.
If it's a game that requires Cleo, you're not a gamer. God.
Sorry.
If it's a game where you need to communicate in order to effectively play the game, then I'll use my voice. And when people say crap, you just gotta ignore them and whatever. Yeah, I'm 8, definitely. Yeah, I'm an 8-year-old boy. Like, whatever.
I've gotten that, and I'm just like, how?
Yeah, I know, it's such a sad state on our era that people playing Halo or whatever can't tell the difference between an 8-year-old boy and a girl's voice. It's like, it's very obvious difference. Go talk to girls for once in your life.
Actually, really recently, sorry to talk about the Girl Gamer subreddit again, but really recently, people had been posting those socially awkward penguin memes of talks on voice chat and gets asked if you're 8, like all the time. It happened like a couple times in like a 3-day span.
Don't be afraid to mention that subreddit. I mean, it's thanks to that subreddit that I met you guys.
Subreddit. I have a love-hate relationship with Reddit, but there are a few subreddits that keep me coming back, and that's one of them.
Yes, me too.
That's what most people, I think, that come full circle with the Reddit experience, once they realize that, it's different people on the different subreddits, it's not as quick to respond, but the responses have much more going for them.
It's funny talking about this topic, and I find myself, it's totally situational. If I'm playing something like Grand Theft Auto 5, and totally playing it on the console, guys, don't get mad at me for being, PC Master Race. I sometimes do go to town and
some games are just better on console, I feel, so don't worry about it.
No, that when that comes on PC, I am so there, but anyways, that game has a community, right? And the type of people that mostly play that game, I don't really want to voice to anyways. Because I just rather not even hear them unless I'm playing in a friends only game, or if we're doing a party chat and we're messing around with them, then it's mic's totally open.
Exactly. And another thing is, I'm the same way, Kat. If I don't have to, I'm like, oh god, just ignore it. But then there's some games for example, MMOs, where you get to play with a bunch of people and you get to pick what you look like and your gender. And so, there's a ton of guys who play as chicks because they get to look at their butts the whole time. I mean, if you're going to look at someone's butt the whole game that you're playing, make it a chick, I guess. But I like to be someone that I can kind of connect with. My avatar is a chick when I play WoW or whatever, and then you kind of get oh, are you a real girl or a dude? And it's kind of I just want to play the game and look like what I want to look like and not be harassed. So while I'm not saying talking on voice chat in that game, it's kind of hard to not get those questions asked still when you have an avatar.
No, I agree with that, and I hear that a lot, actually. I remember the first time I saw a friend's character, and he was a guy, and all his all his characters were female. There we go. And I admit I play guys almost every chance I can. It's partly because I like looking at guys better, but it's also because I kind of just wonder what it'd be like to be a guy sometimes, and games are pretty much my only opportunity to do that. I mean, effectively. That's a whole other topic. I should mention really quickly, sorry, we should have said it at the beginning, but guys in the chat, please don't swear or, say unkind words, because as we said, we're trying to make this a friendly community, and if you start calling each other, F-uts and all that stuff like that, that's not very friendly. If you want to do that, there's plenty of websites where you can do that. Just don't do it here. Thanks. PTA is done.
Don't you get auto-banned anyway?
Yeah, you do. So
that's
you will incur the wrath of the Terminator bot.
We'll go down.
So, anyway, all right. So let me ask this: what games and communities do we think handle it better than others, in your experience?
Okay, FPS games, in my experience, are terrible at handling hearing a chick voice, at least for the first few seconds. I think, depending on the FPS, you get a lot of kids playing, COD and games like that, and when you're playing with a more mature community, I can't think of one right now. They kind of handle it better, but when you're playing with younger crowds, it's kind of oh god, why?
You feel like you're in the kindergarten.
Yeah, and I see a lot of females talking about their horrible experiences in League of Legends and in Rust. And I don't really play either of those games, but I think there's a general consensus about those ones.
Yeah, I was looking into Rust because I'm like a little alpha addict. I've got all these alpha games, and I love open world games. So I've already got the Daisy, Stanley, and stuff like that. And somebody was telling me about Rust, and it's like, oh, it's by the guy who did Gary's mod. And I'm like, I loved building in Gary's mod. I'll have to check this out.
Yeah, I bought it and I had to use it. I really need to get on that.
I looked a video on Rust, and it's naked dudes running around. I'm like, oh, that's kind of strange. So I'm like, well, maybe they're gonna put a female character in. So I go to their forums to just kind of see what the consensus is. And sure enough, there's a thread. Somebody's asking about will we get a female avatar, stuff like that. I don't really want to be a naked dude running around. And it was just full of vitriol. And it went on for many, 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 many pages. until it was locked. And I've noticed this in other communities as well, such as the Arma 3 community. And
yeah, oh my god.
There was a folks.
I should have mentioned DayZ. Sorry, I should have mentioned DayZ is one of the horrible places to have a female voice because people automatically assume that you're that one chick. The White Widow or whatever she calls herself? That would basically be like, "Help me," and then she would steal all your stuff. Because of her,
good idea.
Because well, she does it. It's a real person, and because of her, anytime I talk in DayZ, people are like, "Oh god, she's gonna kill me and take all my stuff." It's like, dude, I don't even have a hatchet. You're fine.
Right.
Yeah,
but
what were you
anyways, so Arma 3 had like a feedback that was kind of like Reddit, where you can like upvote stuff and downvote stuff to like try to give the developers an idea of priority. And one of the things that people wanted to see added in were female soldiers. And that ended up being like the most controversial subject. And it ended up where 60% of the community wanted it, 40% didn't. It had the most votes by far of anything in the game, and the actual comments in it were just, I mean, my jimmies are wrestled just thinking about it. You know, it's like this is. Let me just spell it out for people that don't really know what Arma 3 is. Arma 3 is a military simulator that takes place in the future. Okay, so for those that aren't up to things, the U.S. military has cleared women for open combat duty. But besides that point, this game also features helicopters, jets, supply stuff, jobs that women have been doing in the U.S. military for over a decade, for like 2 decades, 3 decades maybe. And so it makes sense that in a military simulator, you would want to simulate everything.
Yeah.
Not to mention the immersion factor. This game has head tracking, so like if you put on a Rift or a Track IR, you can actually look around, you can talk to other people, and your character's mouth moves. So it's also an immersion point for if you are in a squad with somebody.
Oh my god, that is a huge thing that comes up a lot. I'm sorry, but that is a huge thing that comes up a lot in these, and I mean, we're being super like female in this first podcast. I promise it won't always be like that, but it will come up, so fair warning. But a lot of girls talk about how they hate that there's so few games with decent female leads because they have trouble getting immersed in the game, and guys are like, well, you can just pretend that you're the guy, and it's like, okay, so we have to pretend that we're guys, but you can't pretend that you're girls, because it's fine if a girl wants to be like a guy, but if a guy wants to be like a girl, then that's bad. And oh my, yeah, jimmies are rustled. That topic.
I had to point that out as like I mean, and the weird thing about that is I've met a lot of really mature people that play Arma 3 that are into that sort of thing, but
there's needles in every haystack.
People. And I mean, I'm talking 40%, and there's still thousands of votes on this thing. So there's a substantial amount of people in the Arma 3 community that want to keep it this boys-only He-Man woman haters club.
Yeah.
You know what? I bet there are more people that want it to be not more as in majority, but I bet there's plenty of people that want it to be the opposite. They're just afraid to speak up because they saw the vitriol. And that's unfortunately the whole might makes right thing. And as long as, it's seen as weakness, like white knighting is a horrible term that constantly gets bandied about. Anytime a guy is not a jerk to a girl, oh, he's white knighting her because he wants to get in her pants. Maybe he's just being a decent human being. You should try it sometime. I sound really angry. I'm sorry. I'm actually happy. I'm sorry. I'm being so ranty. I'm going to get pegged as the ranty one.
We can always move on and talk about some of the games that we played in 2013, the good and bad ones, and what we're looking forward to in 2014.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
All right.
Do you want to go first, Kat?
Oh, sure. Why not?
I know
that's how much you like ESO. I know how much you like ESO.
I can't talk about that.
I know.
I can neither confirm nor deny any experiences with game ESO.
NDA. I know. That's why I'm tormenting her, because she wants to rant so badly.
Oh no!
Soon.
Nothing to say on that topic. I will rant a little bit about 2013 because there were a couple of little nuggets that came out in 2013. And I feel like they deserve to be talked about.
Talk about them.
Don't starve. Sorry. And Starbound. But continue.
Well, the first one I have to mention is Aliens Colonial Marines. This is a game that I wanted to be amazing. 4-player co-op, aliens, marines. It was actually going to have female soldiers in it. You know, I thought it was going to be amazing, right? And it was just bad. So here's a game that's like 50% fighting aliens, and the rest of the time you're fighting these generic Wayland Yutani guys in an aliens game, and a game about killing aliens. And
yeah.
God, I don't want to spoil the boss fight for people who really want to play this game, but suffice to say, suffice to say, you push a button and it dies. So
it's funny because I have a friend who loves that game. He's like, I know it has a bad rep, but I really like it, and he plays everything. I think he just likes everything. So.
You know, the shame about that, though, is that they got so much right. The settings of the planet, the sounds of the guns, everything looked good. But, I don't know, it's just like the story just kind of fell apart. And I will give it this, the online PvP was actually pretty fun, playing as the alien and sneaking around and pouncing on people. That was quite a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you're mentioning how you are supposed to be fighting aliens, but you spend most of your time fighting these dudes. It wasn't a game that was released in 2013, but 2013 was the first time I played Lost Planet and Lost Planet 2. And I was so disappointed that in Lost Planet 1, you have the mecha and you kill all those aliens, and it's super cool. And then Lost Planet 2, all you're doing is shooting guys for, humans for 90% of it. It's like, is this even the same game? So I didn't like that.
I think something else that also kind of killed it for me is that they never really released an apology for the state of the game, or gave us any like say, here is the horde mode that we were originally going to have in the game, but we took it out so we could charge people for it. Here's this for free to keep you playing. They never did anything like that, which brings me to my next game.
Would you like them to remake the ending?
I don't know. Right now, I just have to hope that the Alien Isolation game is great. That's how they can, and it's not even done by the same company.
You like shooting aliens, don't you?
You don't actually shoot any aliens in Alien Isolation. You don't get any weapons.
Oh.
It's a survival horror, and the best part is you play Ellen Ripley's daughter.
Oh.
Did you say a survival horror?
It's a survival horror. There's one
horror.
alien.
Oh,
so his name is Slender.
Okay.
That would be my kind of game.
I'm a horror for survival.
Did you guys ever play Warframe?
I played a little bit of it.
I played a little bit of it too. It's if anyone doesn't know, it's a free to play game. It's co-op. You can play with 4 people, and it's a third-person shooter. So you kind of choose a class, and then you kind of go through these levels and shoot a bunch of guys. And it's really fun if you want a co-op game to play with your friends because it's free.
Huh.
What did you think of it?
We should try it on a.
Yeah, we should. What did you think of it?
I liked the fighting and the movement, but
Me too.
And I hate to sound like this, but the character designs really turned me off. I thought they were a little too funky. I don't know. They just seemed really weird.
You could change your color, of your Warframe actual armor.
Yeah.
Which was I was pink. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I know what you mean. I thought it was really fun, and I'd recommend it to anyone who's looking for a co-op game that's free to just play with their friends. And I think that game came out this year. I think it was an alpha. No, last year. Sorry, it came out in 2013. Go ahead.
I was just going to hop in and say there's another really good free-to-play game that's pretty much co-op called, oh god, I can't believe I just forgot what it called.
What was it about?
Journey.
It was, it's essentially like kind of an MMO Borderlands, and I've got it right here. Let me see.
Okay.
Fusion?
Firefall.
Oh, Firefall.
Yes.
I played the demo of that in a bus at VidCon. Oh no, sorry, at Anime Expo in 2012.
You could
it was really fun. I really liked it. I haven't played it since then, but I really liked the beta of it, so I should check it out.
Yeah, another. Were you done talking about that game? I didn't want to move on. If you were.
No, go ahead. It's all you.
Another game that was that whole alien vibe that you were talking about earlier. That I played this year. I don't think it came out. I'm sorry, last year. I don't think it came out last year, but I played it, and and I had so much fun. It was called Alien Swarm. And
I've heard of that one.
It was a free-to-play game, and it was like a co-op game, and it was like a top-down view, like third-person shooter, and you could like choose like a class. It was you know, not like TF2, but like you could choose like a medic class, like a support class, heavy class.
How was that not TF2?
There was only like 4 classes, and you kind of had to choose. You got to pick the class, you know, that you wanted to be before each round, because each round or like level were like different. You might want to have an extra medic or whatever, and you can like choose like whichever guns you wanted to use. Like you could unlock guns as you played, and it was super addicting. Like I got that vibe, like, you know, Diablo 3, where like there's like tons of like barrels and stuff that you can just like smash on your way. It's so addicting. Oh my god, it was like that. Go ahead. What'd you say?
Are you trying to say you like to break things?
I like to say that I
like to break pots.
I love going through games where there's like a ton of crap you can just destroy on your way. But
It's very
Zelda. I mean, Link.
It's
Yeah,
very
exactly.
When there's nothing, it's very disappointing when there's nothing in the pots ever, though. Because like Dark Souls, I started Let's Playing it, and there's never anything in the pots. It's super disappointing.
You know, I get this like OCD thing where I just have to like get every single possible thing, and I will like clear the whole place except this one little area, especially in Diablo 3, and I would go back to make sure there wasn't anything.
Me too.
Nice.
Oh my god! But I really liked that game because, like I said, it was free, it was co-op, and there was just like swarms of aliens coming at you, and it was like so much fun.
I see it advertised a lot on Steam. I know it's a couple of years old, if not more, but yeah, I see that one, and I see Killing Floor constantly advertised on Steam.
Yeah, I have Killing Floor, but I only played it for like 10 minutes, and it was really dark, and I didn't know what the hell was going on, so I stopped.
Killing Floor is weird to me because
it has a weird name for one.
Well, the movement is just weird for me. I feel so slow playing it, like it should be way faster.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I just couldn't really get the hang of it. Couldn't really get pulled into it.
Yeah.
And I did like the space station level that's in like low gravity. That was good.
That makes me think of Starbound. Can it be my turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, we're kind of not necessarily going with games that were released in 2013, just ones that we first played in 2013. But one that was released in 2013 that I have a special relationship with is, of course, the beta for Starbound. And you know, I say this a lot, but I'm I don't mean this in a bragging way, but I'm friends with the guy who
drop.
Yeah, I'm like totally friends with the guy who started Chucklefish and is making Starbound.
Humble brag.
But no, I've been friends with him for years, and you know, like I've been aware of the development, and I've been so excited, you know, anxious for others to be able to experience it, because it's like, you know, I couldn't tell people about anything, obviously, so I'm just like, oh my god, go to beta so other people can play, and you know, so I could play too, because I didn't play until beta, and it is so fun, and I'm not exaggerating just because I know him. I'm saying it really is fun, and unfortunately, a lot of people look at Starbound and they're like, "Oh, it's Terraria." And it's like, first of all, Terraria is awesome. Second of all, it's really a lot more than Terraria. The beginning is similar. I mean, with the crafting and everything, but you know, with Terraria, you have the one world and that's it. With Starbound, you can go to unlimited, randomly generated world, and the randomly generated aspects have so much going into them. There is so much behind the scenes stuff. There's so much about what the monsters look like, what their powers are, how they behave. You know, not everything wants to kill you, and it's actually really cool. And there's a lot, too, that they're still implementing. I mean, there's farming, there's making your own stuff, not just following you know, blueprints, but I think there's actually like making your own things, splicing things together. Don't burn me at the stake if I'm misremembering. But there's that, and there's crafting, and you know, there's extensive co-op. There's a whole like Vocaloid-like thing where you can play instruments and make your own music, or you can just play these little music notes that you found, and it's a huge game, and I'm sad when people play 10 minutes of it and just immediately dismiss it. I strongly urge you to play it more, and we were going to be playing Starbound today, but I wasn't able to get a code for Becca yet, but we will be soon, probably, I mean, next week or so. We're going to play something else. By the way, as we mentioned, we're going to be streaming after this wraps up, so if you still want to join us, you can watch us stream and play with us. So
I got to make a female Cyberman so that makes Starbound win. That was my little murder bot.
Yeah, I made one of everything.
So
I love the. Oh, sorry, I was just gonna say I love the. God, their name just jumped in my head. The plant people. Oh my God.
Florians?
Yes, Florence. I cosplayed as a Florin last year at VidCon at Finn's request, so that I could advertise Starbound. And it was funny because everyone was like, "Are you Alt Greg?" And I was like, "No, I'm a Florin from Starbound." And now I can wear the same costume, and hopefully now people will actually be like, "Oh, you're a Florin!" Because the costume, I based it off one of the promotional arts. So, Are you
really sure that they won't be like, "Are you one of those plant people from Guild Wars 2?"
Oh, I did get that too, which I would be fine because that's actually my favorite race in Guild Wars 2. So,
yeah, I haven't played Starbound yet, but I'm really pumped for it. Speaking of, I know Kat just said she had a female character. I wanted to talk about Heroine's Quest, and I was talking to Kat a little bit about it. Did you play it yet?
I haven't got to play it yet. I downloaded it, and it's like this week has been nuts. So
Yeah.
I haven't downloaded it.
So I've been really hyped about it, and I actually heard about it on the Girl Gamers subreddit, and they were posting on it because it was a female lead adventure game that, you know, you get to play a heroine, and it's like a Sierra game, and it's based off of the old King's Quest, like Quest for Glory series. And I used to freaking be addicted to King's Quest 6. Here Today, Gone Some... I don't remember what it's called, but I was obsessed with it when I was younger, and it really, really reminds me of those kinds of games. So if you guys want like a blast from the past, check out that Heroine's Quest game because it's free. Granted, I've only played probably like, I don't know, 8 or so hours of it, and there was one thing that was a little bit glitchy. I kept getting an item in my inventory, but so I don't know if it's like, you know, how great it is, but I will say that I was having tons of fun and got like really involved in that game. So I would recommend Heroine's Quest.
I will check it out.
It's
All
great.
I remember...
We need to do like a free-to-play show.
Yeah,
that'd be
Talk about
awesome.
free-to-play games that people may not have heard about.
Yes, we do.
Indie games too. That'd be nice.
Yes. And
So,
did she-
all right, we got
Oh,
to
no, go
talk
ahead.
about what's coming out in 2014 because this is going to be an awesome year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most
So,
of the
Cleo,
games
what are you looking forward to?
I'm trying to think of ones that aren't already out because honestly, I'm so behind because I'm poor. Because like I was really looking forward to Thief and I haven't played it yet. I was really looking forward to AC4 and I haven't played it yet. I'm looking forward. Well, we can't really go into this. I'm looking forward to ESO. I'm just gonna put that out there. I played the beta and I liked it, and that's that. And unfortunately, you know, not everyone liked it, but I really love Elder Scrolls, and even though I'm not a big MMO person, I think my love of Elder Scrolls is enough to make up for the fact that it's an MMO. Yeah, let me think about it. Someone else go.
I was also looking forward to Elder Scrolls. I'm looking for a new MMO. Kat and I talked about a few others that kind of got me hyped too. But, you know, I'm really pumped for an MMO that is going to kind of blow up the way like WoW did and have a huge following and stay like that,
I don't know
because
if that's going to happen, but
I know. I'm looking for an MMO. If anyone can direct me to a new MMO that will stay.
I want a steampunk MMO.
Well, yeah, that'd be
That's
cool.
awesome.
I played Star Wars: The Old Republic, and like I'm sure a lot of people know, that game was like huge, and then it like the following just like blew like.
Well, I played a
away.
little bit of it. My understanding was that first of all, a lot of people thought it was too single player-ish, like there wasn't enough interaction with others, and that once you went through the stories, first of all the stories were kind of the same, and once you got to the end, there was nothing. Whereas World of Warcraft, I've never really. I've only got to like level 40 in World of Warcraft. I've played it a lot, actually. I played it over the years, but every time I go back, I make a new character, so I've never gotten very far. But yeah, people said that there wasn't any end content, so that's why.
Well, Becca, I'm glad that you mentioned that because my two 2014 games. I want to get this out of the way real quick. EverQuest Next Landmark, it's going to be the next Minecraft for sure. I don't think EverQuest Next proper is going to be out in 2014 though. So that one I can't really say for sure, certain. But you're talking about a game, you want a game that's going to blow up like Warcraft, and I really think WildStar is going to be that game.
So I've heard of WildStar, but I don't know anything about it. I'm sorry.
Well,
Can you
they're
please
going.
explain?
They're going back to what made games like EverQuest and WoW popular, and why they're not so popular now. So they're actually going back to stuff that I think they have 40-person raids. They're putting contested stuff in the world to fight over. The classes have a lot of skill shots, so there's
that reminds
definitely...
me of Defiance. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's nothing like Defiance, believe me. And the cool thing that I like about it, too, is that every class is useful. So it's not like Guild Wars 2, where everything is a DPS race. In this game, you've got a tank class who also can DPS. It's basically every class has something useful they can switch out to. So be it tanking and DPS, or healing and DPS, or something like that.
That's awesome.
So I finally remembered... Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, I'd be really pumped for that. I just want to invest my money and my time in an MMO that's going to stay, you know, it's going to stay with a lot of players, because I loved Star Wars The Old Republic, and I know Cleo said that people thought there wasn't a lot of social content. I thought the class quests were great. I thought that, I mean, you could do the quests together, and like when you were grouped up, you could see the other people and interact together with the quests that you were grouped with. And I played so much PvP, it was ridiculous, and so we just sat in TeamSpeak and just like went nuts on PvP, and that's how I like leveled a lot of my characters. But I definitely disagree that there wasn't a lot of player interaction.
I'm just quoting what other people said. I played like an hour. So.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So I finally remembered. Oh, sorry.
Oh, and I was thinking, you know, I was looking at the Elder Scrolls, and I was thinking, Skyrim was like, what, Game of the Year a few years ago, and everybody and their mom has played Skyrim. Literally, everyone and their mom has played Skyrim. And I was hoping, you know, maybe there'd be a whole bunch of hype from a more mainstream community getting into Elder Scrolls Online. I know they're completely different games, and I know that Kat has opinions on it. I'm not sure if you're allowed to share those, because you played the beta, right?
Well, let's just, I think I can say this. Let's just say that The Elder Scrolls Online is not Skyrim Online.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's what I saw quoted a lot in the chat, actually, while I was in the beta. People are like, I was hoping it would be Skyrim.
You're saying a lot of people, Kat, you're saying a lot of people just want, like, a multiplayer version of Skyrim, basically.
I think a lot of people do, yeah. But let's not get in trouble. Let's not get in trouble for that.
I mean, if you could just have 4 of your friends, and
Borderlands 2, but the Skyrim edition.
I know, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Someone mod that. Why hasn't that
been actually working on it?
I know, but they need to hurry and finish it. Okay. So I remembered the 2 that I was really excited about. Actually, someone from the chat reminded me of the second one. The first one I want to mention is Sims 4. I know.
Oh my god, I've talked about The Sims for years. Holy crap. Played all of them.
I've played all of them, and I have a very love-hate relationship with them. I hate EA for shivving everything into DLC and trying to scam people out of tons of money. I hate that. But I do really like The Sims. I even, you know, it's funny because most of, like 90% of the hours I put into any of the Sim games has just been building houses. I really enjoy that. But then actually with, what is that, World Explorer, whatever it's called, that was probably the first expansion pack, that and the Pets ones, where I actually enjoyed even just playing with the actual Sims. So just building stuff. And with Sims 4, I mean, they've been promising a lot of stuff. They promised that the moods are going to be a lot better, and they reiterated the promise that you're not going to be so compelled to take care of needs all the time that you can't explore other stuff. They made that promise with 3, too, and it wasn't very true, but hopefully they mean it more. And I'm also really excited. Huh?
It was more about the aspirations.
Yeah, which I just didn't care about. But they also...
No, you can't have a cookie today. Screw you.
They also vastly improved making your sim, like how your sim looks, which is also fun for me. And building, like you can actually copy entire rooms, including furniture, and just, you know, stuff that is extremely helpful if you're trying to make your house have a certain theme or whatever, because as it is now, even in Sims 3, you still basically have to reapply everything to every little thing. And I think they included the grid too. I think they split it up into 4 smaller pieces, even smaller, so you can fine-tune it even more. And then the second thing, sorry, I'll let Becca talk about The Sims, but I just wanted to throw out, Regal, however you say it, reminded me. Dragon Age Inquisition. Yeah. Oh, and Witcher 3. I should have mentioned that too. But Dragon Age Inquisition. I love the Dragon Age games, even though I never beat the second one. But I really like the characters. So
I have a question about Sims 3 real quick before we get too far away from it. Are they going to, or Sims 4 rather, are they going to fix the problem where in Sims 3 eventually everything just grinds to a halt and is super broken lagged?
I never had that.
You never had that problem. Okay, have you ever tried the map? There's a map, and see, I played Sims 3 before as well. I have this fascination with like little artificial intelligence people and making houses and stuff. That's fun. But there's a map that has.
I used to play creatures.
Yeah, it has. It's like downtown. It's like got skyscrapers and everything. Have you ever played that?
Yeah.
The game lags so hard on that one. Yeah,
Nightlife expansion pack or Date Night.
Something like that, yeah.
Mine was super laggy. Yeah, the one with the skyscrapers where you could like have like loft apartments and stuff.
And I'm not talking about FPS lag. This is straight up like it's trying to process pathing lag. Oh my God.
I never had that problem. My biggest problem with Sims 3, and I don't know if it's necessarily a problem, but with the pets thing, I could figure out how to get my characters, my Sims, to take their pets somewhere, but whenever they would go home, they would always leave the pet there. And the pet would have to walk all the way home. It's just this little kitten that's just walking for 3 days to get home. That happened a lot. I always felt horrible.
My God.
You are a bad pet owner.
I am. I'm sorry.
Your virtual pets.
I always make crazy
Tamagotchis died too, didn't you?
No, but when my Tamagotchi, I miss those, but not enough to actually find one and make it work. But no, my Tamagotchi, my first one died in the middle of me taking my SATs, and it was making this extremely loud beeping noise, and I literally had to smash the thing and throw it in the trash to get it to shut up. So, kind of.
Those things are so needy. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I just want to mention that I love that follow here there is M, and she said that she sits in character customizer for millions of hours every time. And I'm so like that. I'll sit and I'll create characters that like are like the perfect family or like some like heartbreaker chick.
Oh my God, I hate that you can't save in family mode because I've lost families in Sims.
I have to. And then I create the house. You said Cleo. I just spend like a billion hours creating the house and like decorating it and like customizing like the wallpaper and like changing like all the fabrics and colors of all the furniture, and then I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to play the people. So I hope Sims 4, kind of makes that playing the people actually a lot more fun and a lot less redundant.
Yeah, and one thing that they mentioned that I thought was actually kind of cool is that their mood actually affects their actions, and not just in a they can't do this, but I'm paraphrasing what I remember, but basically like if some guy is in a bad mood, he might pour it into like making an angry song that actually is really well made and sells a lot or whatever. And I was like, that sounds so freaking cool, because that's what you do in real life, well, theoretically. If you're in a bad mood, you're going to want to do different things than when you're in a happy mood. So I thought that was really cool.
Definitely.
Nice.
Oh, and people in the chat are mentioning EVE Online. I played 2 weeks of EVE Online, and it was kind of fun, although I was really overwhelmed by just how much reading and menus there were. But I wouldn't pay $14, $15 a month for it. I just have the videos on my YouTube, so you can witness my frustration as I'm experiencing it.
My issues with EVE Online is mostly in the flying the ships. You pretty much orbit things and you fire your weapons.
Yeah.
I gotta have direct control, and that's why I'm looking forward to Star Citizen in 2015 or whenever it comes out. I've already been making videos on the Hanger app, and dogfighting modules should be dropping in a month or so. I can't wait to actually stream that.
Oh my God, I love, I need to play that. I didn't realize that there was already a beta out for that, but I read about that and I was like, that sounds so cool! There's like a bunch of games that I could just talk about how cool they are, but we're already at 8 o'clock, so.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to move into the closing part?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sure.
Okay, so thanks very much to everyone. I'm going to do a proper shout out to the chat room now. There's about 35 people in there. There was like 37 at one point, but just to show how much we appreciate all you guys being here. Thanks so much for coming, guest, whatever. Kinte, obviously Kinte, if you didn't know, has been setting up he set this podcast up and everything. He does a lot of other podcasts. He has very specific, like show specific ones that he can talk about, and he has the Spotlight, which changes from episode to episode. Like I was actually kind of on yesterday's episode, which was all about ghost sightings and stuff, and that was cool. Follow here there, as we mentioned, that's M, who is on the forums as well, and she has magnanimously agreed to mod the chat and watch for trolls, which I'm really hoping.
Thank you, M.
Yes, thank you, M.
Thank
you are
you,
invaluable.
M.
You are invaluable, and so we're adjusting to that. So yeah. And then Arclad, I know Arclad is a friend of Kinte, and he is also a podcaster. So hi, Arclad, thanks for coming. Ashilika, I don't know how to say that, but that's a cool name. Of course, Becca and Kat, thanks for being here. Blair Higginsy, hello Bub, hello Feminist Geek. I'm assuming that's something for Feminist Geek. Phoenix Hero, of course. I think Phoenix Hero was a fan of my YouTube channel, and then he followed one of the things here. Okay, faster. Yes.
We also got to talk about, make sure you guys stick around. I see some people leaving chat. Make sure you guys stick around. We're actually going to be streaming.
Yes.
So you can go on Cleo's channel and my channel. We're going to be streaming a game right after this. So make sure you stick around for that. And back to you, Cleo.
Yes. Hello, Ion. Hello, Joe Hart, Josie, Kitty Cat, Craxton, Lalanthia, Mallory. I don't know if she's actually listening. That's my roommate. Hi, Mallory. Mark and Abrudi, Misha Masha. MSP Investing is my mom. Hi, Mom. Numbers. That's the name of a club near here that has a lot of drag queen events. Raul, Richard Priest, and Sirithri. Oh, cool. Sirithri made it. I didn't think she was going to be able to. Stefka, sorry, who is also on the forum, who's an awesome girl. Udike V, and Zuckerregal. Yay, I got through it.
Yeah. And I just wanted to remind you guys that, we will be streaming our podcast live every week. So you can always come to this link to find us, on Fridays at 7 Pacific time. And if you ever miss an episode, you can always go to the Spreaker link that I linked. It's the Spreaker.com/show/Fangirl Fusion. And also, if you guys want to stick around, you can watch the live stream. And in the future, we'll be playing games, with a big server, so you guys can all come and we can all meet each other and play together.
Yeah, we just didn't quite have time to organize that this time.
Yeah.
This podcast was only born a week ago, so.
Yeah, and if you guys want to
podcast.
If you guys want to evolve.
If you guys want to continue the discussion, you can go to our forums. I think it was linked already in the live chat, and we'll have it down in the sidebar if you're not listening to this live. And you can come talk about the questions that we had today. We talked about what is a gamer to you, and when do you come out as a female in a game, if at all. So come to our forums and talk to us about it. We love to.
And
it doesn't
have to. Yeah, it doesn't have to be about the podcast too. We've got some conversations going. There's one that's what do you like to cook? And there's going to be a lot more. And like I said, we want to make a community. So come.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And touching what Becca was talking about, we're going to kind of revisit some of these topics and kind of select some of the top comments, some of the top responses to what you guys thought about the stuff that we covered this week.
Yeah, for sure. And also, if you guys want to get involved in the community, if you want to come on the podcast as a guest, if you have, some specific knowledge in any area, whether you work in, a gaming or geeky industry, or if you're a competitive gamer, or, you're just really proficient in a certain game or genre, come to the forums, let us know.
Or manga or anything else.
Or, any geeky thing, come talk to us and let us know what you're about, and maybe we could have you come as a guest here on the podcast. And
I promise we'll shut up and let you talk.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. We love to hear from all of you. And thank you so much, you guys, for being here. And we'll hang out and talk in the chat for a little bit before we start our game.
Yeah. Sorry for any awkwardness. We're all very new at this. I think all of us have guest starred on podcasts before, but we've never started our own, and we've never steered our own. And even though I've made videos, I make them, not live. So this is a very new experience for all of us, and we really appreciate your patience. And we hope that you'll stick around and that you'll, feel free to go on the forum. And if you think that we didn't do a good job, please tell us why.
Or if we did do a good job, tell us why.
Or if we did do a good job.
And also, if you want to get involved in ways that are not specifically coming on and speaking on the podcast, you want to, we do need a lot of things done because we did just start this community. We do need, forum mods. We need a website. We need
we need a website.
We need a logo for our page, and we'd love for everyone to get involved and kind of contribute. We need a little jingle at the beginning of our podcast. So come to the forums, talk to us, get involved, and thanks. We love you guys.
Is that? I think that's about it. I love you.
Yeah.
I love you, everybody listening right now.
Next week.
Outro plugs. We gotta, so sorry, for those of us who have something else, again, I have my YouTube channel, which is Games Are For Fight, Games, the letter R, the number 4, F-I-T-E. If you just Google it, you'll find pretty much anything. And I also stream, and your turns.
You can find me on YouTube and Twitch under Asytra, A-S-Y-T-R-A. I've got a lot of LP videos up. I'm putting out a lot more content. I'm starting to take it a lot more seriously now that I'm a partner. And help me get partnered on Twitch. Make sure you hang out and favorite me and stuff on there as well.
I didn't know you were a partner. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Partnered on YouTube, been since 2011. Just haven't really done a lot with it.
Oh, well, that's still pretty cool. I'm with TGN, but yeah, long story. Becca hasn't started her YouTube yet, but we're going to make her start one because she has a hilarious video she told us about, and we're trying to get her to put it online so you guys can all enjoy it because it's
I'll work on it. Guys, stick around in the chat. So I'll be on there and looking at all the things you guys said in case we missed anything. And then we'll be streaming a game. So stick around.
What game are we going to be streaming?
Left 4 Dead
2? Yeah, we're going to do Left 4 Dead 2 again because we already have it installed and ready to go. So we did it before and it was hilarious. So
Armageddon Zombies.
Ghouls Night Out.
Stick around for overused themes and zombie slaying.
Stick around for Ghouls Night Out.
All right, thanks guys. See ya.
See you later.